Hey, what's up everyone? In today's video, I'll be featuring a new Technomancer build that I've created, allowing you to hit up to 2 million damage and sometimes even more. Before I get into the video, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Diving. If you don't have enough time, patience, or good enough teammates to get the gear and items you want in a certain game, that's perfectly alright because Diving has you covered. Go to their website www.diving.net to help get boosted in games like Destiny 2, Division 2, Outriders, and many more. They'll make sure you get your characters leveled up, best setups, guns with high rolls, and much more. The boost works with account sharing as well. They also give you the option to choose exactly what you want them to get for you in that game without the use of cheats or bugs. This is a trustworthy site with over 3,000 reviews on Trustpilot and having a 4.9 out of 5-star rating, so you know these guys are good. The site has been running for many years with a large variety of payment methods. You can use the code DIVINE to get a 15% discount on all services. If you have any questions, you can always contact an operator on the website to help you out. A link to their website will be in the description down below for anyone interested. That's everything for today's sponsor by Diving. Again, thank you for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to subscribe for more weekly content. I also have a Discord setup for anyone looking for more people to play with. The link to that will be in the description down below. Let's start this build off with the weapons I'll be using. The first weapon up is a Damascus offering, coming with the attributes of crit damage, status power, and skill life leech. Crit damage is not important at all with this build. The same can be said for anything that increases our bullet damage. The key attributes are status power, so status effects do increase damage or last longer, and skill life leech, so we can heal off the damage of our skills and status effects. The main reasons I chose this weapon is its really good attributes, the fact that it's a large machine gun having a lot of ammo in its magazine, and its amazing tier 3 mod that comes with it, Claymore Torrent. Dealing 200,000 damage to 4 enemies within a 6 meter radius of the target that was hit with a bullet from this weapon, while having a short 2-second cooldown. The second mod I placed on it is Ultimate Bone Shrapnel. Landing critical shots on a target will cause them to explode and deal 230,000 damage in a 5 meter radius, and also apply the bleed status effect to anyone damaged by it. When I get into the armor pieces, it'll make a lot more sense for why I equipped this. With my secondary weapon, that being an Inferno Seed, having the attributes of crit damage, status power, and long range damage. Still got the main attribute status power, which is the most important. The mod it comes with is Wrath of Moloch, which does the exact same thing as Ultimate Bone Shrapnel, but it places the status effect burn instead of bleed. With the second mod, I placed Deadly Disturbance on, which again is the exact same thing as Ultimate Bone Shrapnel and Wrath of Moloch, but instead it doesn't place any status effects and does more damage than the other two. If you don't have an Inferno Seed to use, a backup weapon you can replace it with would be a Funeral Pyre, with the mods Shadow Comet and Weakness Trap. Using this, it'll be much easier to proc the mods you have on the weapon, but you do sacrifice the status power attribute and a little bit of damage for easier use. Last up, we have our pistols. There's nothing special to them, just going with Torment and Agony because it comes with the status power attribute and a good tier 1 mod, Clip Combustion. The second mod you'll want to use is Moaning Winds. Basically, just reload and do a ton of damage. This weapon is mainly used when enemies get up close, or you're dealing with a really strong enemy and want to get a lot of damage off really fast. Now, let's talk about the way you want to use these weapons to get the maximum efficiency. The main thing you want to do is land a single critical shot on an enemy while using the Damascus offering, so Ultimate Bone Shrapnel and Claymore Torrent activate. Then just switch to your secondary and do the exact same thing. By the time you switch weapons, line up a critical shot, and shoot, The mods on your weapons will be finish their cooldown, allowing you to activate them again for a consistent damage output. That's how we're going to maximize our damage. Lead with the Damascus offering, and follow up with your secondary or pistols. Basically, just juggling weapons around to use them for their mods. Now that the weapons are all done with, let's move on to the armor, starting off with the headpiece. I went with the Crown of the Borealis that comes with the attributes of bonus firepower, status power, and long range damage. We are able to get one of the desired attributes with it, so not the worst, but it also comes with a really great mod for this build, Twins, allowing me to throw out an additional cryo turret so I can have two on the field at the same time. The second mod I placed on it is Power Assimilation, just to increase my anomaly power. If you don't have this mod, you can easily swap it out for Anomaly Echo or Arms and Anomaly. Going to the chest piece, you can use whatever purple rarity with the desired attributes of Anomaly Power, Status Power, and Cooldown Reduction. These attributes aren't absolutely needed for this build to work, but they do help out quite a bit. For the mods, it came with Hail Shot, increasing the damage of my cryo turrets based on my status power, which is another reason why status power is an important attribute to have on. Then the second mod I placed on is Ice Component, making my blighted turret spread freeze instead of toxic to maximize the chances of freezing enemies. Moving to the legs, I went with the Waistcloth of the Borealis being the second piece needed for the set. The attributes are the exact same as the helmet, so nothing too special. On the other hand, the mod I placed on it is very special, that being Tainted Blood, increasing all damage enemies afflicted with bleed take by 25%. If we go back to our Damascus offering, it has the mod Ultimate Bone Shrapnel, which spreads the status effect bleed, giving us some nice extra damage for those tougher enemies that take a bit more to go down. If you aren't able to get Tainted Blood, no problem. There's a backup mod you can swap it out for, which is Bullet Kindling, that increases damage enemies take by 20% when afflicted with burn. And our Inferno Seed spreads that effect, giving you the exact same thing with just a little bit less damage. The second mod that comes with the legs is Freezing Boost, increasing our damage against frozen enemies by 15%. Next up, we have the gloves going with the third piece of the Borealis set to get the set active bonus of increasing our damage against frozen enemies by 90%, and also increasing crit damage on enemies by 10% after using the skill Cold Snap. The best thing about this is that it applies to your teammates as well, so they'll be doing extra damage to frozen enemies and extra crit damage on top of that. With the attributes, it comes with max health, cooldown reduction, and long range damage. Max health and cooldown reduction aren't too bad to have on. The mod that comes with the gloves is Shatter, increasing our damage to frozen enemies by an additional 25%. So any enemy that gets frozen is going to take a crazy amount of damage. That is the reason we want to maximize the chances of spreading freeze. With the second mod, I swapped it out for Bloody Boost, just boosting our damage against enemies afflicted by bleed by 15% again. If you don't have this mod, you can swap it out for Bullet Kindling. But if you're already using Bullet Kindling as well, another backup mod would be something to boost your anomaly power or your skill's damage. The last piece of armor we have are the boots, going with any kind of purple rarity with the desired attributes. The mods I placed on it are Increased Damage, which increases the damage of the cryo turret, and Captain Hunter for increased damage to elites. That's everything for the weapons and armor, so let's hop over to the skills I'll be using. The first one up is Blighted Turret. The main reason I went for this skill is for its ability to freeze enemies, an anomaly power boost I get that's in the class tree, and the fact that I don't have to worry about it after I throw it out. It just does its own thing. The second skill is Cryo Turret. It's going to do the exact same thing, spreading freeze, giving me an anomaly power boost, being able to have 2 on the field at once, not having to worry about it, and also it's really good damage that makes it a whole lot easier to get through pod rescues. With our last skill, that being Cold Snap, it only has 3 uses really, being able to freeze up enemies for more crowd control, another anomaly power buff I get that's in the class tree, but it's also linked with the cryo turrets, and lastly, the 10% extra crit damage everyone on my team gets after I activate this skill. Now you know the weapons, armors, and skills. All that's left is to dive into the class tree. With that, I focus putting all my class points into nodes that would increase my damage against frozen enemies, cooldown nodes for the cryo turret and cold snap, nodes that would increase my armor, resistance, and health, and lastly, nodes that would increase my anomaly power for my turrets to do more damage. That's everything for today's video. I'd like to give a big thanks to the members of my channel for supporting me on my videos and the future ones to come. If you think there's something I could change or add in this build to make it better, let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.